Hi, and welcome back to Football Made Simple. Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola are two of the premier managers in the world. Their teams have some distinct differences as well as some similarities, one of which is they're both recognized as high-pressing teams. But what are the differences in their systems? Well, in this video we take a look. Just before we get into that though, if you're new around here, I'd appreciate it if you liked, commented and subscribed. If you want to see more match reviews, player and manager profiles, and so much more. Drop video suggestions below or tweet at Football Made Simple. Now, let's get into it. And if you want to find out more about Pep and Klopp's teams, a good place to do so is today's video sponsor, OneFootball, which is the football app to keep you up to date with everything about your club and more. So download it through the link in the description. So what is pressing? Well, in simple terms, it's applying pressure to the opposition team when they're in possession of the ball in order to force mistakes. Although the term is usually associated with high-pressing sides, it is present within most teams. Even teams in a deep block will press, however they may choose to only press when their opposition enters their final third. The system is nothing new, having been used by Netherlands and Michels' Ajax years ago, as well as Arrigo Sacchi extensively in the Italian league. Pep and Klopp, along with other managers, have definitely repopularized the style of play. However, there are several different ways to implement the system, but today we'll just focus on Pep and Klopp's systems. Klopp is renowned for his Gegenpressing style, which is high pressing straight after losing the ball. Pep Guardiola at Barcelona was known for a similar style of play, the famous 6-second rule, where the team was instructed to try win the ball within 6 seconds of losing it. Both styles mean that instead of dropping deep to protect their goal after losing the ball, they remain on the front foot to try win the ball high up. But both managers, Pep in particular, have adapted these pressing systems over time. One of the biggest differences between the two is intensity. Klopp's method involves the entire team looking to collapse around the ball in order to win it as high up as possible. On the other hand, Guardiola's team is a little more strategic in their press. This is because both teams press for different reasons. As Klopp said, no playmaker in the world can be as good as a good counter-pressing situation. This indicates that Klopp views pressing as a means to win the ball high up the pitch and to counter-attack the opponent whilst they're out of position. Pep, on the other hand, has said, defensive organization is the cornerstone of everything else I want to achieve in my football. The key word being organization. This may indicate the press is more of a means to disrupt the opponent's attack and allow City to get the ball back and build up. Let's dig deeper though. So in line with Liverpool's goal of winning the ball high up the pitch, they deliberately set up pressing traps where the opponent is fooled into believing a pass is on. The front three is crucial to this process. The best way to execute a pressing trap is when an opponent is surrounded on all sides, and the best place this can be achieved is in the center of the pitch. So, to force the opponent central, Salah and Mane position themselves between the centre back and the fullback, cutting off the passing lane to the fullback instead of man marking the ball. At the same time, Firmino is slightly withdrawn, often covering the defensive midfielder while pressing one of the centre-backs. The remaining centre-back is then tempted into attempting a pass into the midfield, where the man appears to be free. But as soon as the pass is attempted, Liverpool's midfield comes to life, intercepting the ball. The positioning of Salah and Mane is ideal as it's between the centre-back and the full-back, allowing them to counter-attack into the half space to finish or pull it back to one of the front three. In contrast, Manchester City's reason to press is to get the ball back in order to restart the attack. Again, organisation is a key word for Pep, wanting to attack in an organised manner, which can only be achieved by controlled possession. So as a result, when Pep's men press, they try to leave no passing lanes open, and this is done by a man-oriented press, where all nearby options are occupied by a City marker. They do not flood forward in a press, but apply enough pressure so the only option is to go long. From here, Pep hopes his centre-backs can win the ball, allowing the team to reset the attack and begin a stable build-up. So in many ways the 6-second rule still applies, but now it's 6 seconds to force the opponents long rather than to win the ball. A simple statistical representative of this is that when adjusted for possession, in 2 of the last 3 seasons, Klopp's have averaged more shots from counter-attacking situations than Pep's. Again, this is because they win the ball high up and immediately counter into the space, whilst Pep would rather force the opposition long and restart the attack. In addition, Liverpool allow the opposition to build into midfield, so as a result, they also concede more possession-adjusted short passes per game. The makeup of their midfields is another indicator. Both are capable, but broadly speaking, Liverpool's is more mobile and athletic, while City's is more technical. This is because in Klopp's pressing system, the midfielders need to be mobile enough to allow the opposition to pass and explode to intercept it before it reaches its destination. At the same time, if the opponent does find a pass to the wings, Salah and Mane's positioning means the fullbacks will be free, so the midfielder has to be quick enough to get out and prevent the wide overload, whilst the others have to be quick in their adjustment. Cities, on the other hand, have to be able to play around their marker, as their opponents will be in close proximity as City had been man-marking them. Klopp wants to draw the opposition into central pressing traps, and Pep doesn't want the opposition to build up at all. Lastly, the way the two play means they lose the ball in ways conducive to different styles of pressing. Liverpool is much more direct, making runs in behind and getting high up the pitch. So their midfielders normally attempt direct passes with less finesse than City's, and their fullbacks are high and wide as well. So, forcing the opponent long may not be ideal, as they mainly have two men back. In contrast, Kyle Walker often slots in to form a back three, and even Zinchenko tucks in to give them numbers around the aerial ball to win it or to get the second ball. In addition, Liverpool would have so many numbers forward from attacking that it makes this system of pressing easier, as they can easily cut off passing options and actually win the ball high up without being bypassed due to sheer numbers. Again, athletic midfielders are needed to cover this space behind the fullbacks and stop counters. City, on the other hand, use positional build-up, where their players are spread well across the pitch and utilizing the midfielders' technical ability. This means naturally, after losing the ball, usually through a short pass high up the pitch, they're already in good positions to close a man down and provide the man-oriented press. Again, as City's midfielders are not as athletic, when they are bypassed, they commit more tactical fouls when adjusted for possession. These are a few of the key differences. On the pitch, both managers borrow elements from each of these and more, but this is more of a general overview. If you enjoyed this, feel free to subscribe and check out our other videos. But that's all for today, and remember, keep it simple.